Hey everybody, it's Ricardo, and we are back here on the stage with Mike Schmidt, product manager from Capcom, and he's brought Dragon's Dogma, which is an original game from Capcom that's got a pretty high-profile team on it, right?
Yeah, it's a brand new action IP from Capcom that's exciting. Kind of here showing it off for the first time in E3, and the guys who are manning this one worked on titles like Devil May Cry 4, Resident Evil 4, so their pedigree is kind of the stylized action. They've been dying to, I guess, dip their toe in the fantasy genre for the longest time, and here we go. They've been dying to show this game off.
All right, so name, Dragon's Dogma. I'm assuming there's a dragon in it. You want to tell us the story behind it?
Yeah, I mean, the title of the game, you know, is definitely tied into the storyline. You play a character in the beginning of the game, your heart is stolen by a dragon who, once in age, comes and wreaks havoc on the land, and, you know, you're basically trying to find out why he did it, get your heart back, and defeat him. And, you know, along the way, you're going to meet all sorts of different characters, you know, fight different enemies, different bosses. It's a pretty epic adventure.
And there he kind of is.
Yeah, there he is.
Now, is that the dragon or just a dragon?
That is the dragon. He makes a brief cameo here in the E3 demo, and then he flies away, just shows himself for a second.
So just kind of taunting you.
Exactly.
All right, so I do see that this is a pretty, you know, it's a tough quest to get your heart back and all that. You're not alone, you got a buddy, it looks like.
Yeah.
So what's this mechanic? Because we actually got a chance to see this a little bit earlier this year when you guys announced it. And, you know, we understand that you're going to have a party of computer control characters.
Yeah.
So you want to explain to us how this whole system's going to work?
It's really exciting. It's a pawn system. So, you know, Dragon's Dogma is a single player game, but this pawn system allows you to, you know, fill out your party for the different quests. So you're going to have one primary pawn who's with you through the entire game. I guess he's more or less like your sidekick, and his abilities will grow and change as you go through the game. And then depending on the quest that you're on, you'll be able to fill the last two slots of your party with different pawns. And in the demo right here, you're seeing like a mage and a strider who are joining you on the Chimera battle. And so you want to pick, you know, pawns who are best suited for whatever the task is at hand.
Now, in the demo that we saw earlier in the year, we were kind of fighting on an open field.
Yes.
Now we're in a cave, and so we're fighting dragons now? What's happening?
Well, this is the Chimera battle. So the Chimera is the crazy beast that's part lion, part magical goat, and part snake. So yeah, the demo we have right now, we've got the Griffin battle back again for those who weren't at Captivate to check it out. That's kind of an open field setting. This one here is a bit more kind of a cavernous area when you run into the Chimera.
Now I'm looking at the controls that are kind of mapped out there. So, but I do see sort of electricity and fire everywhere.
Yes.
So you're not a caster, so your class is more a straightforward warrior, but your buddies kind of bring it.
You've got a mage along on this particular quest, so a lot of the magic effects you see are being cast by the mage, or sometimes they're being cast by certain enemies as well. Once you get to the Chimera, for example, the goat, you know, he has a lot of magic attacks, so he'll be unleashing.
All right, well, we're starting to get questions in from folks. Joshua Clark from Philly wants to know, what are the classes of characters that you can choose from?
Well, we've got, you know, kind of lower level and a higher level tier. We haven't revealed the higher level yet. We're going to be kind of talking about that in the months to come. But on the lower end here, you're seeing just, you know, the strider, the fighter, and the mage.
We've got a question here. How is the character customization? Can you choose between genders?
Yeah, we haven't talked too much about customization. From what I understand, the system will be pretty deep, and you'll be able to kind of, you know, deck out your character however you want. And again, it's something else we'll be sharing a lot more information on in the future.
All right, let's see. So there's more stabbing of stuff. It seems like there's a mix of, you know, manageable enemies and then the big stuff that we saw a little earlier. Let's see. Cliffy T from North Carolina wants to know how many different kinds of weapons are in the game and can you dual wield? Maybe you don't have a final count, but how about dual wielding?
Yeah, there's actually in the Griffin boss, he's got a pair of daggers. So right there, we've got some dual wielding stuff. You know, there's, you know, bows and arrows. There's different types of swords. You can actually utilize the shield a lot as a weapon. There's a lot of shield-based attacks. Ooh.
That
the fall right there.
Well, it's good to know you can't die from a fall.
You can if the fall's far enough.
Well, then thumbs up to the demo for not dying. Now, you did mention this is kind of an action fantasy game, and this is a quest kind of a thing, so you would expect while you're on a quest, are there towns and cities you can hang out in?
Yes. Yeah, we don't have that really to show yet in the demo. We were focusing on just kind of a couple big boss battles, but if you watch some of the trailers that we have running for the game right now, you'll get a sense of the size of the world. I mean, everywhere you see in the trailer, you'll be able to get to. You know, we'll be open world, one kind of continuous adventure. You know, villages, all the NPCs are fully voiced, so there's a pretty epic story behind the whole thing.
Now, when you are joined by these NPCs that you mentioned, and we did see them call in a few, how much control do you have over them? Can you give them any orders to sort of back you up, or?
Yeah, we've actually, one of the things the team did that was nice is they've kept it pretty simple, so everything's on the D-pad. If you hit up on the D-pad, they all will attack. If you pull back on the D-pad, they'll all come to your aid. And then you can also have them retreat as well. So they, versus trying to have it be too strategic and having you place them, you know, in certain spots and worry about that, we didn't want to interrupt the action too much, so it's really easy to maneuver them, and their AI is really good as well. I mean, they're kind of just fighting on their own, and you know, you don't need to worry about them, which is great.
All right. So John from Missouri is wondering if there's going to be any character interaction with the pawns. Like, do you like, you know, give them a fist pump or a good job for killing that thing for me, or not so much?
I think we'll see some of that, but I don't think it's in the demo right now.
All right.
High fives and things like that?
Yeah, why not? Let's see. And what we're also seeing is kind of a variety of enemies. Earlier on is just ground-based folks. And those things that are almost dead, those harpies, they just like really mean birds.
Yeah, that's the term, harpies. I wasn't familiar with it until actually I saw the demo and someone told me what it was.
See, learn something new every day.
Exactly.
Video games are just a font of knowledge. All right, looking, and so this seems like it's going to be the problem, right? Are we at the Chimera yet?
We're almost there. These are some guys who were dealing with it earlier, and they're kind of, I think, enlisted your help. And as soon as we kill off the last of the harpies here, we'll make our way into their and go.
You know, and I guess just to be clear, this is a single player game. It's not like there's going to be online co-op and you're by people.
It's a single player game, although I can say we do plan on utilizing the first party networks, PlayStation Network, Xbox Live, and we're doing some cool stuff, but again, it's just something we're going to be revealing a little bit later in the upcoming months.
Now, is there any progression for you personally? Are you going to get different skills and kind of evolve your character, or are you just going to be getting real good with the sword and shield?
No, I've actually seen it so far. There are, you know, experience points and things you do progress and your skills develop as you play. The focus, though, isn't on that. We didn't want it, the team didn't really want it to be too RPG heavy. So there's kind of, I always say, like a light dusting of those elements, but the focus is really kind of on the action and the adventure aspects and kind of the whole epic story of it all.
And so, you know, we're having the boss fight right now. Our guy is climb on the thing.
Really cool. The pawn
off,
creatures.
apparently.
You can, some are easier to hold on than others. As the boss takes damage, you know, it's easier to kind of stay on top of them. And it's fun, like in the Griffin battle, for example, you'll grab onto his leg and all of a sudden, before you know it, he's taken off again, and you could actually fall from way high and die.
And how intelligent are your buddies, basically? So are you going to be having to take, like in a battle like this, for example, somebody goes down, is someone else going to revive them? Are you going to have to do all the heavy lifting?
Well, it's a true team effort, let's say that. I mean, when one of the pawns goes down, you can go over there and help them. Otherwise, one of the others will. They're constantly helping you. And one of the things they do that's great is they are full of wisdom and tips and tricks. They will tell you how to defeat certain monsters if you're having problems.
And that would be, I guess, the running commentary we've got on the side. Are these your pawns kind of talking to you?
That's them talking to you right now. I think, you know, the HUD and stuff that you're seeing right now is still work in progress. We may adjust some of this stuff. The frequency at which they talk to you, you know, how much real estate it takes up on screen. These are things I know the team is still kind of finessing right now.
And this seems to be kind of a tough fight.
This is a really tough fight because it's almost 3 bosses in one.
Well, I guess I see the life bar up top, which, no offense to your demo, are not going down as fast, I think, as it could.
Well, I think what happens too is there's 3 life bars up there, and you're seeing, you know, if he's attacking the snake portion of it, you're going to see that. If he's attacking the goat, you're going to see that one. So I think you can see right there, like he's trying to take out the snake portion of the Chimera first, which is what the pawns have told you is the best strategy for defeating this guy.
So you can, in fact, target the different heads.
Yes.
That's helpful.
Yes. And hopefully you'll see in a second here, we'll cut the head off the snake, and then we can focus our attention on the magical goat.
Nice. And so clearly this is fantasy. Chimera with this unholy union of animals is just one of the bosses. Can we expect this kind of mythological theme along the whole game?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw the Griffin boss at Captivate. We've also released some footage of a Hydra battle, which is really cool. We've got the Chimera here at E3. We know there's a dragon at the end of the day. And from what I understand, there's a slew of other bosses too. And, over the next few months, we'll kind of be revealing those one by one.
Now, you've talked about the different classes of pawns that exist. So you have the freedom, basically. If you had decided that you wanted to bring in, well, for some crazy reason, all Magic users into a fight like this, could that happen, or are you limited to making sure that you bring in one from every class?
I think it's up to you. It really lets you kind of customize the experience as you want to play. So if you want to bring in, 3 warriors, you have that option. You may fail, and I think once you kind of choose the pawns for a certain quest, you can't change them on the fly. So if you do fail with that strategy, you have the option to go back and try it again and try a different combination.
Now, all the questing and adventuring that you're doing, is it taking place basically in one landmass, or is there traveling kind of around this world?
I'm not sure if there's traveling, by boat or something like that, but it is, one continuous epic adventure. What we're seeing here are kind of just, boxed off instances of some of the fights with some of our key baddies.
All right, we've got a question from Bruno in Brazil, who wants to know how many friends can you have on a team, and is there a limit on them?
Well, there's going to be a pool of pawns you can choose from. I'm not sure what the final number is, but you'll have, a whole bunch of them in order to, fill out your party for the different quests.
Maya from Florida wants to know how you would go about getting yourself healed.
Well, there is an inventory system.
Okay.
You can pick up, potions and herbs and, different pickups along the way. There's money that you can find. There's treasure. So when you're in towns in between quests, you'll be able to load up on those items. The pawns will also heal you too. Their inventories are fully stocked. So if you go down, you can call for help, or the AI is tuned right now that they'll just kind of run over and assist you if you need it.
So there's a groundswell of asks about if this is going to come to the PC.
No news yet. I mean, right now it's just 360 and PS3, slated for early 2012. I know we've got a lot of people asking about PC, and I'm sure the developer is listening, and they're probably exploring that option, but just no yes or no for sure yet.
Got it. All right, it seems like we're in the home stretch.
Home stretch. I think the goat has been silenced.
The goat's gone.
And now the lion will go quickly, because he's got no support anymore.
True, because each head has a unique ability, right?
Yeah. The goat has magic, the snake has venom, and the lion roar, the sonic boom nature of it kind of knocks you down.
And then Serkan is wondering, from Istanbul, is wondering, are the fights always going to be in dungeons?
No, not at all. I mean, you've seen the Griffin battle before that we showed at Captivate. That's, outdoors. It's going to be a good mixture of indoor and outdoor locations.
And so right now we're having like an indoor Chimera murder. That is a bloody mess.
Yeah.
That's just, there's parts everywhere and fire and blood.
And he's finally been defeated.
Nicely done.
It's Miller time.
Nice. And see, this is where it would be good to give, the team a high five or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Think about it.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much, Mike. This is Dragon's Dogma. This is going to be coming out on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 some point next year.
Yes.
More soon, eventually.
Lots more soon, so you know, stay tuned to GameSpot. They normally have the scoop first.
We do try.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right,
well,
thank
that is
you.
it for Dragon's Dogma. We are now going to go back to the show floor and check in, because E3 is in full swing, and we're out covering as much of it as we can. So we'll see you soon.